Mornings on this ranch are incredible, and it's because of the sunrise in the red sandstones. And even before the sun is up, you hear the birds. And as the sun begins to break and everything takes a glow, and it gives you this incredible sense of this is bigger than all of us, and you're honored, and it's an incredible feeling that nature's doing what nature wants to do, and we get to be amongst it, but not challenge it. We just get to sit and watch it happen. Then the wildlife that's here, and the bighorn sheep, it's just such a diverse ecosystem here that's really unique. The diversity of the wildlife that's here, the small animals, all the way to the reptiles, the lizards and the amphibians, up through the large herbivores, the elk and the deer. Plow hasn't touched this land. It's as it was when man first walked on the North American continent. Our goal is to leave it as it was or better, and make sure that the next generation has the opportunity to go on and do the same thing.
My great-grandfather moved here in the late 1870s, and they were miners. They immigrated from southwest Wisconsin, and they came out here via covered wagon. They homesteaded a small place just south of Rosita. They mined up until the early 1900s, and then my grandfather moved to this place in 1917, bought it in 1918, and they've been here ever since.
The original 160 acres was my grandparents, and they bought it in they moved in there in 1917, and then Grandpa, I guess, never filed the deed till 1918. And my mother is now 91, and she has never lived anywhere but this valley, and her family had been here since the 1870s. It's home. It's just home. I lived on a horse since I was 4 years old. And I wouldn't even sleep the night before because I was so excited to ride.
What I love about this area is it's relatively unknown in Colorado, and it's managed to kind of survive relatively unchanged over many, many years. I mean, there's been subdivision, especially in the surrounding mountains and such, but a lot of the old legacy ranches are still intact down in the valley, and that's mostly two reasons: zoning in the 1970s and also land conservation efforts. Because once you break up property, it's never going to be reassembled.
Even when I was growing up, I always wanted to know how we could preserve at least our land. I didn't want anybody to develop it. I liked the wildlife on it, everything. I just was excited when we first put the conservation easement on here. I can go to my grave and know it'll always be preserved and no one can develop it. And that part I love.
And it always amazes me when I look at the easement maps, the amount of property that is preserved in the valley and in the surrounding mountains too. I look back and think, oh my God, if all those were subdivided, what a mess it would be. Agriculture is still the backbone of this community, and it always has been since the days that mining eventually waned. Still the backbone, probably always will be, until we stop doing agriculture. Which, I don't know, if we stop doing that, we'll probably all be not here.
It's the wildlife, it's the water, it's look at the view. I mean, you just wake up in the morning, there's them mountains. It's just worth preserving because it is a gorgeous valley and it needs to be preserved for generations.
It's turned out perfectly well in my opinion, and COL has done exactly what they said they would do.
I don't don't know, you just can't describe what it's like to live here. And I figure all my friends that are still here, we figure we were the luckiest people to grow up here. I want our legacy here. I want everybody to know we were here, why we were here, and what our mission was.
The mountains are just amazing, and there's so many public spaces and lands where you can be out in nature that you just don't have in other parts of the country.
So the fact that I can still, in my 60s, get out here and enjoy the hiking and, you know, be able to help conserve lands that other people enjoy, I just see that as a really great benefit. I now have a grandson, so to think that I can see my little Rowan out here on the trail with us and, you know, thereafter as he grows up, I just see this as a wonderful place to live.
You know, you preserve this wonderful open space that's, you know, where nature's prime. To me, it means that, you know, these places will still be here 100 years from now. That the people that come after us will still be able to sit up here on the hillside and look out and see the open lands and see spaces without houses or without development. You know, they'll get to see as much beauty as we do.